Hey everybody, welcome back to the Tribe of Nerds. Shane and I are back for another Survivor What If, pondering the question in this vast multiverse, what if you changed one thing and it changed Survivor history? So we're here talking about Survivor Tocantins, and we know at the merge, Joe Dowdle ended up getting medevaced, had the injury on his knee, the same challenge that JT broke his tooth, and then a couple episodes later, he gets medevaced after Tyson wins the pole challenge. And what would happen if Joe did not get medevaced?
So, to put it short, I think this is going to end up with a different winner. JT is not going to be our winner. I think the Jalapao 4, I guess at this point, are still going to go far. I think that's not going to change here.
Right.
But I do think some of this little details will change because Joe did show some strategic chops right before he was leaving, like choosing to go with Erin to exile, form an alliance with her. I think that's a little underrated moment of his. So I do think he has potential. So let's talk through this.
Yeah. So Joe has Erin, as you mentioned. He does also think he has the idol at one point, which is obviously a fake. Yeah. I wonder how that's going to factor into things if Joe ends up figuring out that this idol is fake. I don't think Joe was dumb necessarily. So I do think that Joe might have figured it out. But, I mean, and this also wasn't like a stick. Like, it wasn't like an obviously fake. I think it's also Steven and Taj, like, were more clever about it, and it wasn't the exact spot. So it's not... It's not out of the realm of possibility that this is an idol. It's just a little, it's not as well put together as we normally have are used to idols in this era of the show.
But I do think this fake idol is going to play a significant role in what I think is going to happen. So first vote, I mean, it's final Brendan. 10. Yeah, and it's going to be Brendan, and now Brendan will not be on the jury. So yeah. We have that. So Brendan's pre-jury. Next vote, I think, is still Tyson.
Ooh, because would Tyson win immunity at Final 9?
Oh, yeah, I guess he would win. Yeah, that's a good point. Because I was going to say, he would win immunity unless Joe beats him, but Joe's not beating him. So Tyson wins this immunity. Because, I do think Tyson had potential to win almost every single challenge.
I agree.
So, Tyson wins immunity here. So here is where I think they could just go Sierra, and that's the easy thing to do. Or they go for a Jalapao.
Yeah, at this point, I think that Sierra is still completely blindsided. I still think Tyson is still, like, probably even more of a dick because he has immunity, so he's just going to be ruthless to Sierra.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I guess because Tyson hated her, and like when you have immunity, for some reason it seems like you have a sense of power and people defer to you, even though literally it doesn't matter. But so let's go. Sierra goes there. So Sierra's our first jury member, 9th place. Next challenge, I do think Tyson will go because he doesn't win this challenge.
It's Debbie that wins shuffleboard. So I do think they take the shot at Tyson. Obviously, Joe has Erin already, and Erin was already jumping with the 3 in the real timeline. So yes, I 100% believe they have the 5 of them take the shot at Tyson, and it's a 5-3 vote.
Yeah. Now here's where I think some differences happen. So in the real time, I mean, Sierra's still there, and they talk about, like, what if we bring the Timbira alliance back together? And then that clearly blew up. But I think that talk is going to happen again. And I think here, Joe, by this point, finds out about the fake idol. He realizes it's fake. Either he tries to play it or something. Somehow he realizes it. Maybe Taj admits it. Who knows? But that's going to piss him off. And he has Erin. And Erin already showed her ability to flip. So I think those two can flip with Coach and Debbie, and I think take out JT. Although I don't know that Coach does it.
I think it's more so Taj because I think Coach respects JT too much. I think there's points that Coach is kind of not liking that Taj is in the game still because he perceives her as not doing as much.
Right.
Which
Yeah, that's a good point because I think maybe they try to do JT and coach is like, no, it's honor and integrity and whatever. So they're like, okay, Taj.
Yeah.
And you could have Joe, Aaron, Debbie, coach. That's 4. So that's enough. You don't need Steven and JT.
Yeah. Yeah. So they completely leave Steven and JT out of the vote, and so they blindside Taj.
Yeah. So either they leave them out, but I think leaving them out would require them telling coach last minute because I think coach is going to tell JT and
Yes. Yeah.
Steven.
Yeah. Coach would tell JT especially, and then
But
I guess
yeah, but now if JT and Steven tell Taj, she has an idol.
that is true, and Steven does. So Steven, I guess Steven's holding on to it, but I guess at this point they do want to protect Taj. So actually, they very well could play their idol. Brennan was flushed out of the game.
Actually, I do think what would likely happen is they discuss it and ultimately say, I, being Steven, have the idol. Let's let her go.
Oh.
And keep the idol.
I mean, that could work too.
Yeah, and they might even say, let's let her go and let's not vote for her. Because they know the numbers are there anyway.
Right.
And they don't vote for her. Because we already saw JT did this at the Final 5 with Coach, where he said he knew Coach was going and still voted with Coach. So I think they do that. So them and Taj vote probably not Coach, probably Debbie.
Yeah, I'm gonna say they vote for Debbie. So yeah, it's gonna be 4-3. Taj does go, they let her go. Now it's at the final 6, and at this point, Steven has an idol that nobody knows about. Joe and Aaron, I think, are still in the swing position, but this is also where Debbie starts throwing Coach under the bus because she is tired of working with Coach. I still think Debbie goes to Steven and JT is like, hey, I'm ready to get rid of Coach. So I actually think that this round is going to end up switching back to getting rid of Debbie.
Yeah, although it's interesting because the way I look at it is you have 3 pairs. You have Steven and JT, Joe and Aaron, Coach and Debbie. Coach and Debbie are going to split. So Coach is going to be with JT and Steven. If Debbie can't get traction with them, she could go to Joe and Aaron.
That's true. I mean, at this point, are we still saying in this timeline that everybody seems to be falling over for JT? Because
I mean, I would say in the real timeline, I disagree with that statement, even though everyone says it's true, because my take on it is Brendan was really the only one that was like, I'd rather him win. Like, he's such a nice guy. And that's Brendan. I think that's not JT doing some miraculous, like, social work. That's Brendan being, like, a dumbass, or whatever you want to say.
Well, and Brendan being, like, a successful businessman.
Yeah.
And already having a bunch of money. So.
Yeah. And saying, like, because I don't know his history with Survivor. I want to think he wasn't a fan. So I think he's kind of like, I don't need the money, and this is just some experience, so let him have it. And I think people like to say that everyone wanted to fall on their sword for JT because Debbie at this time in the real timeline is like, oh, I don't care. Like, I want you two to win. But I don't think she means that. I think she's saying that as a strategy to flip with JT and Steven. Like, she doesn't mean that whatsoever.
Yeah, I agree with that because I think that's why they pointed out as like Debbie's dangerous because she's very obviously telling us something that isn't true. You know, she's only second.
Right. Yeah. So I think if they don't want to work with her, she goes to Joe and Aaron, and they probably do because Aaron hates Coach. I mean, like, who is this jackass? Like, she's definitely voting him out. So Debbie, Joe, and Aaron vote Coach. JT, Steven, and Coach vote Debbie, and we have a tie.
Yeah.
So does someone flip? Aaron's not going to want to draw rocks. I know that. I don't think Steven's going to want to draw rocks. So imagine if let's set this up. We have it, they revote with no talking. Aaron flips, Steven flips. Therefore, it's still deadlocked. And then they have their discussion. I think in the discussion, they would come to a unanimous decision.
I think they end up booting Debbie in the unanimous
Probably. Because I think JT would be like, I'm not voting out Coach. Even though he normally wouldn't care. But to publicly be like, okay, I'll turn on Coach, then he loses Coach's jury vote.
Right. Yeah.
So I think Debbie goes, which it's the same spot as normal, but wildly different circumstances.
Yeah. So now we're in the final 5. We still get the greatest episode of Survivor ever with Coach's boot episode.
Yeah. It was crazy. And it's going to be even crazier because he's coming off this tribal where he almost went home. So he's really going to do this whole martyr approach because he's literally the martyr. He's going to be who's some famous martyr? I don't even know. He's probably going to quote Jesus at this point.
I was going to say, he quotes Martin Luther King in Heroes versus Villains when he's voting Randy off. It makes no sense. So here he's
I sense that he's literally going to quote Jesus and be like, last night I was on the crucifix like Jesus, but I survived the miracle and made it out. So then I need to go meditate on exile.
Oh my God. Okay.
And then during the challenge, before he lets out his scream, he's going to be like, this reminds me of being on the crucifix last night. I'm just like Jesus. And then he's going to do his scream, have his back spasm, in quotation marks, fall over, and he's got to be voted out. Because I think maybe you could have Joe being like, we should keep him because that's a perfect person to take. But Aaron is not. There's no way Aaron will keep him.
And I think Joe at this point knows he can take Aaron to the end, and the jury won't vote Aaron to win. So that's his plan. And then Fishback is going to be like, oh, maybe it's still time to get rid of Coach. Although I can see Fishback being like, we need to break the pair up.
Here's the only difference I would say. So it's going to be Coach unless Joe wins immunity. Because JT wins the immunity, but now Joe's there. So if Joe wins immunity, they're going to vote JT.
I think Fishback will take the shot at JT if he has it. So
because I mean, he genuinely in the real timeline said he was going to do it but JT won the last 3 immunities.
Yeah, I don't think Joe is going to win this challenge, to be honest, because I think he's an even bigger guy from what it seemed like than Coach and JT. And just historically, that doesn't work out well with this challenge.
Right. So we can go Coach gets eliminated. And then next round, does Joe win immunity? Because if Joe wins immunity, then JT's gone.
Yeah, so this is the challenge where it's like the spider web and they have to make the puzzle at the end. JT narrowly beats Fishback in that challenge. I mean, I think it's Joe, Fishback, or Steven. Joe, Fishback, or JT.
Right. And I mean, JT already beat Fishback, so it's not Steven. So I kind of want to this is arbitrary, right? So let's just say Joe wins it.
Yeah, Joe wins. Let's go for it.
So JT's getting voted out, I think, unanimously.
Yeah, I think they know they need to do it. So yes. So now at this point, Aaron knows that she's going to get taken to the final 2.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, I think there is a no-brainer for both these guys to take her.
Although in this timeline, she does have a little bit more agency at some of these votes, and she was a strong duo with Joe. She knew when to weave through the game and flip and flop. So she definitely has some more agency, but she still, I think, has the same likability reception.
Yeah, I don't think this jury is either way is going to vote for Aaron to win regardless, because I don't think she, even in the real timeline, I think she didn't have as much agency, but she did have some game to her, and regardless, Timbira was not voting her to win. So,
right.
So the Samotion challenge, it came down to JT and Steven because Aaron dropped out first. Steven versus Joe. Again, we don't have any information to tell us if Joe is really good at
you can just flip a coin, make your decision, whoever you want, either Fishback or
Joe. Let's say Fishback wins it.
Okay. So Fishback wins. There's definitely a possibility he could take Joe with him, but I think it's very likely he takes Aaron.
Yeah. So,
but if it was the other way around and Joe wins, Joe 100% takes Aaron. But I think here, yeah, he probably takes Aaron. So we can say Joe is the final jury member.
The fallen angel, yes.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Steven versus Aaron. Okay. Sierra. Who's she gonna vote?
I think
she might vote Aaron. Or did she? I don't know.
I think she ended up losing respect for Aaron at one, like at several points in the game. So like,
they're probably Steven.
I would say Steven. All right. So then Tyson, I think votes Steven.
Steven. Taj.
Ooh, I mean,
she could do Aaron.
She could do Aaron, but in this timeline, well,
she's 100% doing Aaron because Steven took her idol and voted her out. Yeah,
that's cool. Okay, so
and then I guess Steven doesn't ever play well, maybe he plays the idol, but it doesn't really matter. He probably plays it at Final Five. But yeah, so Taj is voting Aaron.
Okay, Debbie. So she won. Debbie, I think votes Steven.
Probably. Coach votes Steven.
The wizard.
Yeah. JT, I'm assuming votes Steven unless he's all pissy that he got
I don't think so. I think JT would respect it. But
yeah. I do think, because thinking back to like the only time he was a jury member in Heroes and Villains, he was like kind of chummy with Russell and like seemingly in a good mood, but he was never gonna vote for Russell.
No. Ever. No.
So I don't know if, I mean, this is different, but yeah, he's very likely, I would say he votes Steven, but there's a possibility he could vote Aaron.
I think he sticks with
Steven,
but
Steven, yeah. And then Joe votes Aaron. So it is 5-2. Fishback wins Survivor Tocantins.
Yeah. Do we want to run through if Joe wins that final immunity, takes out Steven, is in the final two with Aaron? Does Joe win that?
Probably. Yeah. So let's see. So Aaron will vote Joe. So that's one vote Joe. JT votes probably Fishback, but there's a chance he could vote Joe.
Yeah. Oh, are we saying, is it Joe versus Aaron or Joe versus Fishback?
Oh, is it, who did you say he takes out?
I said Joe versus Aaron, but we could say
Joe versus Aaron. Okay. Yeah, so let's do that then. So Fishback will vote for, I don't know actually who Fishback votes for.
Seemingly Fishback has had like a pretty good relationship with Joe, or at least he's gone and seen Joe, because I feel like Fishback said something about that before. But I could be wrong.
But if he votes him out.
Yeah, that's true. I'll still say he votes for Joe, to be honest.
Unless he appreciates the fact that Aaron flipped over and helped them get far.
That's true. It's possible. Yeah.
We can say Joe, but it's up in the air. Yeah. JT is a Joe vote. Coach is a Joe vote.
What is Joe's coach name? We have the Warrior, the Wizard.
Oh yeah, who even knows?
I don't know.
Coach is a lunatic, so he would probably do something crazy. Like in that season, he was nuts.
Come on the show, coach. Once you can.
Oh yeah, I mean, please, because in South Pacific we can talk about how you should have won that game 100,000%.
Yeah.
Sophie's great, but like the redemption arc of Coach is, I never thought he could do what he did. He did it.
Yeah. Yep. All right.
Yeah.
And then
So Coach is Joe, Debbie is Joe, Tyson is Joe, Sierra is Joe, maybe. I don't know. Is it a blowout?
it might be the JP blowout like that we got. So
I thought it was going to be closer, but I guess not. Yeah, it's probably a blowout. Yeah.
Yeah. So interesting. All right. Yeah. I mean, this one definitely changed things. So I'm happy with that because I think we've been through some what ifs where we talk through it and then it ends up with the same winner. So
Yeah.
I mean, this at least is something different. So yeah, that is Survivor What If Tocantins. So like, share, comment, and of course subscribe to our channel and let us know what you think. What would have happened? Would we get a Fishback or a Joe win, or do you think something else would have happened? So yeah, and we'll see you all next time for more Survivor What If on the Tribe of Nerds.